I'm coming at you live on tape from Sydney, Ohio. And today we're talking Bret Hart's beef with Hulk Hogan from 1993. Now, let me set up 1993 WrestleMania for you. Hulk Hogan had not been seen on TV for a while. And WrestleMania 9 in 1993 had been called the Return of Hulk Hogan. He was going to team with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, his best friend at the time, Ed Leslie, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, to take on Ted DiBiase and Irwin R. Schyster for the tag titles. Now, Irwin R. Schyster is also known as Mike Rotunda, the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. So it was being billed as the return of Hulk Hogan. Now, in the main event that night was Bret Hart and Yokozuna, Bret Hart defending his tag team championship, or his world championship, against Yokozuna, who Yokozuna had won the Royal Rumble that year. Hulk Hogan had said he wanted a shot at the world title with whoever won that match somewhere down the road. As I said, Hulk Hogan hadn't been seen on TV for a while. Now, going into this match, Hulk Hogan knew his run was coming to an end. Because in 1992, according to Hulk Hogan, he had talked to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon thought Hulkamania had plateaued, and that Hulk needed a refresh, a change in character. Hulk Hogan completely disagreed and thought there was more to go. Hulk Hogan, if you watch WrestleMania 8, you can see Hulk Hogan was wrong, because Hulk Hogan gets a few boos in his match against Psycho Sid. And later, he'd get more boos when he went to WCW later in 1993. Where was I? Oh, yes, he was getting boos in his match with Psycho Sid. So Vince McMahon was right. Hulkamania had actually plateaued, and Hulk Hogan did need a refreshing character. But Hulk Hogan didn't think he did. So they butted heads, and so Hulk Hogan said he wanted out. Now, he had also done a few other things in 92 and early 93, made some movies, and had agreed to do this new show, Thunder in Paradise, since he was leaving wrestling. So going into the WrestleMania, Bret Hart was WWF champion. Hulk Hogan was a big star still. And they thought about making it Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 9, and even did a photo shoot. And there's a photo you can find it on the internet, of Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart doing a tug of war for the title. And according to Hulk Hogan, they thought about that match at WrestleMania 9. According to Bret Hart, that match was thought about at SummerSlam 93. But there is a photo shoot where the two are doing a tug of war over the title. Now, at WrestleMania 9, Bret Hart lost the title to Yokozuna. And then after Mr. Fuji, Yokozuna's manager, threw salt in Bret Hart's eyes. Hulk Hogan then came out and challenged Yokozuna to a match. Mr. Fuji tried to throw salt in Hogan's eyes. Hogan ducked, and Yokozuna got salt in his eyes. Hogan hit the leg drop and got the win. It took about all 20 seconds for Hogan to beat Yokozuna, which buried Yokozuna and kind of buried Bret. Now, Bret says Vince told him that Hogan was going to lose the title to him. I've got a bit of a cold coming on, which is why my nose is stuffed up and my voice is kind of scratchy. Bret says Vince told him that Hogan was going to lose the title to him at SummerSlam. Why not at WrestleMania? Why not have him and Hogan go at it at WrestleMania? Two top faces? We don't know. But that's what Bret Hart said. Hogan says that was never the plan. He thought about facing Bret Hart at WrestleMania, but he was afraid that the fans would turn on Hart being new to the main event, and cheer Hogan, essentially turning Hart heel. Kind of like what happened at WrestleMania 18 between Hogan and The Rock. And so Hogan went with beating Yokozuna for the title. But once again, we've got this interesting little mix of who said what. So then after the match, they went into Vince's office, and Vince pretty much told Bret, I never said Hogan was going to lose the title to you. And Hogan said he was going to, and Vince told him that Hogan was going to lose the title to Yokozuna at King of the Ring in '93. Now, Bret still to this day says they were supposed to fight at SummerSlam, and Hogan refused to fight him because he thought Bret was too small and more of a tag team guy. Hogan says that was never the plan. The plan was for him to lose it to Yokozuna and then Bret to get it back from Yokozuna at a later date, making Bret look like a big star. You've got to take everything Hogan says with a grain of salt, because Hogan's known to tell lies and spin stories. But then again, Bret's known to tell lies and spin stories too. So what is the truth here? We're probably never going to know what exactly happened, what exactly went down in WWF in 1993. What we do know is we never got a Bret Hart Hulk Hogan match in WWF for a world title or a tag team title or anything, when they were both big stars in 1993. Instead, we got that confusing mess of a world title match at WrestleMania 9. And then later at 1993, they brought Lex Luger up to the main event, trying to push him over Bret Hart, which also kind of screwed Bret Hart over for kind of the rest of the year. But Bret Hart did win the title back from Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10. So what exactly did happen? Did Vince tell Bret that Hogan was going to lose the title to him? And then Hogan really recanted and said, no, I won't lose the title to him. That could have happened, because Hogan's known for backstage politics. Was the plan originally never to lose it to Bret? If that was the plan, if the plan was never for Hogan to face Bret, why do we have this photo of the two of them playing tug of war over the title from that time, from a professional photo shoot? As I said, we may never know what went on, but this is the story. I think the plan was at one point to have Hogan face Bret. I think it was planned for WrestleMania, and something happened where Hogan decided, no, I would rather face Yokozuna. And then it just never happened again. But Hogan did go on to leave WWF after he lost the title to Yokozuna, and the two later fought in WCW, but it was not as big a match. That's what I believe. But as I said, you gotta take Hogan what he says and Bret what he says with a grain of salt, because they're both known to spin stories. So that is it for the wrestling show this week. Give me ideas, people. I ran through all the ideas on my list. I gotta think of more. Ugh.